All right, boom. Now that we are back, continuing on with this situation. Yeah, from from the bottom of my heart, thank you, Brody. Um, I can't express how much um, you were able to clear my mind of thoughts. And basically, long story short, I met a girl in Valorant. A girl who just kept kind of like blast packing me. Imagine you're in a comp game, right? You're on a map called Harbor, and you're trying to hold an angle, right? And your Raze keeps throwing a blast pack at you. It doesn't do damage, but it's pushing you. Or she's throwing a nade at you. That does damage, and that you kind of do have to move away from. So she's now blast back at you, nading you, but you are winning, so you know that she's doing it to mess with you or to kind of like tease you or whatever. So cool, boom. You play with it. You kind of just ignore it. Boom. That does the reverse of what you were hoping. Instead of them stopping because you're just ignoring it, they're intrigued. This person isn't getting annoyed by it. I'm gonna do it more. Boom. We ended up friending each other. Ended up being like, what is up with you? Boom. We friended each other. Yada yada. She ends up liking my personality, likes the way I look. She follows me on Twitch. Um, Follows me on Instagram. This and the other. From what I can see on her page, she's a little bit of a bigger girl. Um, at the time, I'm honest. Look, if you're fat, you're fat. If you're skinny, you're skinny. If you're in a normal range, you're in a normal range. And I think people who lie to you and say, "Oh no, you're skinny" when you're fat are actually the real problem. Because if you actually care about this person, you're gonna say, "Hey, look, you're getting heavier. I actually want you in my life later on. So please go to the gym, or please start eating healthier, or please start being mindful of your health, because I actually do love you and I actually do care about you." And I find it crazy that we live in a society where it's like, no, just do you, girl. Just do whatever you want and just do you, boo. And then that person dies, and now we're confused and we're wondering why. Well, it's because you didn't tell them the truth and you weren't honest with them. Um, yeah. That's one of the things I'm from this point on. I'm gonna keep it 1,000. If I lose you as a friend for being honest with you, then hey, we weren't meant to be friends. If I lose you as a family member because you can't take honesty, then hey, um, I'm gonna still love you to the day I die. But I hope you can grow up, because the truth is the truth. Um, Period. Um, but yeah, I ended up talking to this girl, right? She was on the bigger side, but I loved her personality, right? We clicked so easily. I could tell that I was slowly starting to fall, um, and just a lot of different thoughts were pouring into my head. One, Ty, why are you starting to slowly spend more time thinking about this girl, right? I would wake up, hop straight on the game, practice, play, stream, end stream, work on a video, eat, sleep, repeat, go, boom, focus mode, right? Monk mode, cool. Making progress, gaining followers, gaining traction, feeling like I had a purpose. It was good. As soon as I start getting that female attention, seeing that she likes me, I start to reciprocate. Boom, right? I reciprocate. Now the entitlement starts to grow, and that's the biggest, my biggest kind of thing. As I tell y'all this, as a guy, you got to understand that there's going to be a time where the entitlement starts to come, and you've got to put your foot down and say no, and just say no. I had a plan before you came, and I have a plan after after you. You know what I mean? Because that's how a lot of these girls are operating. You know what I mean? Whether you fit to their program or not, they gonna keep doing what they want. And it was beautiful because I actually got one of the girls I was speaking to explicitly say that when I was just trying to get her to kind of move forward with some of my boundaries. Um, and without going way too deep into that, this girl thinks that her brother can dictate our relationship. So just off that, the fact that she thinks her brother is going to have more say in my relationship than I will have in my relationship, you're already off. It's already GG's. Um, and the fact that she thinks I'm supposed to wait for myself when she's already had her fun. Yes, her fun is very, very specific and complicated, but she has had her moments of fun, um, and now wants to settle down. But that's not my fault. You know what I mean? I shouldn't be punished for that past. which I think is something that a lot of girls do. Not even think it. It is something that I've experienced. A lot of girls will punish you for their past, or because you react to their past, you are now either insecure, or you now are like just straight demonizing words for just what it isn't, right? So one thing I found crazy, one girl was trying to get me to um she was holding me she was holding me up to the standards of a husband. Mind you, Shorty had 8 bodies. Shorty had 8 bodies, right? And that's 8 different people she's fucked. God knows how many times, right? So I'm gonna keep it 1,000. If you have over 8 bodies, it's GG. It genuinely is GG. Even if the guy can't tell, right? And this is me talking personally. I cannot love you if you have more than 8 bodies. I cannot love you because I know mentally you've been. I know your mind has gone into crazy places, and for me, I can't love that. You know what I mean? I can't. It'd be a dishonor to little Ty Ty inside of me to even lie to myself and say that I love you. It'd be a depressing state, right? And I remember I was singing with this one girl, right? She used to come to Kraftwerk's, beautiful voice, right? She was on this School of Rock team, and I find it wild. I'll get back into the Ray situation, or the R situation, but the first time I met this girl, she went up on stage, right? It was a Thursday. She sang karaoke with her and her friend, or maybe she did a solo. I don't know. Actually, I think it was a duo. Um, Boom, beautiful voice, right? I go up to them. I'm like, bam, double high five. They know I'm a server. They know I'm working there. But I thought they were really cute, genuinely. 2 young girls. I think they're cute. Um, I'm like 19 at the time. Or I may have just turned 20. But I can tell they're either 18 or like right under it. So I'm like, hey, I'm gonna go spit some game. If they end up being younger than 18, I'm just gonna no longer see them that way, or I just won't speak to them again. You know what I mean? Like, this is potentially the only time they're ever gonna be here. So boom, you see them as cute. These girls you used to run away from or like shy away from because you were nervous. Now you're talking to them. Boom, chopping it up. Boom, 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 boom. And at this point, now that there's cute girls, I put myself in, right? That was kind of my little thing. Whenever there was a cute girl coming in, I would sing, because I was like, as much as I love going up there to sing, I made sure the regulars knew I'm not singing for y'all. I've gone up there and sang for them before, but I wasn't gonna turn it into a thing where it's like, look, they want me to sing today. I don't want to sing, but I'm gonna sing still because they want me to sing. No. Ty, do you want to sing? No. Okay, then today we're not singing. Bad bitch comes in. Ty, unfortunately, you're about to go fucking sing. You know what I mean? But it wasn't like a simping type of thing. It was more so like, hey, you're nervous because of the ideas and thoughts of, do I give a fuck about what a guy thinks about my singing? No. So you're thinking about what potential women think about your singing, right? So anytime a bad bitch would come in, boom, I'm hopping up on that stage. Beautiful girls, ordinary people, keep your head up, right? Songs that a lot of people just know. Songs that are very, very common. So bam, do that. And I sing, get down, right? My Keep Your Head Up is a good song. If you know Andy Grammer, you'll love it. And I'm not like glazing or anything. I've worked on it enough to where you can vibe out to it. The Beautiful Girls by Sean Kingston. I've worked on that one enough as well, to where I'm confident singing it at any time. I don't care. And yeah, so I sang that, hopped down, boom, and like a charm. It worked. Boom. She comes over. Oh my God. I'll come visit you whenever you want if you want me to sing, right? First time I met her, I don't even know this girl apart from saying, good job, your voice was amazing. Me then going singing, doing well, and then just kind of regularly serving everyone, right? So from all those situations, she just comes up to me and she's like, whenever you want whenever you want me to come and sing, tell me and I will. Something along the lines of that. I probably messed up the delivery, but she says something along those lines. Any guy who hears that, who operates in the realm of reality, would be like, okay, this girl is probably interested in me, right? So from that point on, I started like thinking of this girl way more. She would come and we started off by giving like high fives, whatever. I eventually moved on to like giving her hugs, but eventually she started bringing a guy in, right? And I'm like, okay, she's bringing her friends in, and a lot of her friend groups were guys, which was a little off-putting. I'm gonna keep it 1,000, right? Notice these things. Don't let a girl tell you not to notice these things. Please notice these things. And I'm not saying it's for every girl, but notice these things, boys. Yeah, like one of the craziest things that I did here was her friend George was like, when I was asking them, because I was just like, yeah, how many kids y'all want, right? Like this is conversations deep, right? So I was able to pop this question easily, no weirdness. I was like, what would be a good number of kids for you, or something like, or how many kids do you want? And I think her friend George was like, oh, she's not far off, or it's not gonna take too long, or whatever, something like that. Pretty much saying she get active, she's active, right? And I was just like, yeah, no, I heard that wrong. I was like, there's no fucking way. I was like, there's no way the girl that I'm interested in just is a fucking whore this early on. This early on, right? So boom. So bam, boom, we start chopping it up. I meet her, boom, meet more of her friends, right? I'm like, okay, like I start getting some of the ideas from her friend. I'm like, okay, she's in like a more like ratchety friend group than what she truly is, right? This is a farm girl, right? She grew up on a farm with a military dad. So I'm like, okay. Boom. Right, so eventually I end up seeing her Instagram, her TikTok, and it's just hella thirst traps. Gut wrenching feeling in my stomach. Any man who has ever been interested in a girl and then finds out they just be thirst trapping knows this feeling. Now I'm at a loss, because I'm at this point where she's coming to my job now, right? Like every Thursday, or every other Thursday, or every few Thursdays, she would pop up to come sing, but also to come check on me, right? She was like deliberately coming to check on me. If I wasn't there on a Thursday, she would ask about me, right? So I would be coming into work sometimes hearing like, hey, your little girlfriend was looking for you. And it's like at some point you kind of just whatever, right? Because you do like her. I did like this girl. And I'm at the point where I'm giving this girl hugs, right? You know what I mean? I'm not giving a fuck about what anyone thinks. Even her parents were coming in. At this point, I'm like, look, I speak to your daughter so much. Me and her know each other so much. She drives out at night to the point of her bedtime to come see me. Pushing her bedtime to come see me. And I just wouldn't let myself move forward with it, because I think I was 19 at the time. And she was 15. And she would turn 16 before I would turn like 20, right? So we were truly, on paper, only like three and such years apart. But because of that, and because of like societal, like kind of like ideas, I just wouldn't let myself kind of like go any further than just keeping it on like a friend basis with her, right? Like I kind of was letting it increase a little bit to like hugs, or saying like I love you, or like sometimes even walking this girl out to her car while I'm on shift, mind you, right? Like, and once again, you can only do this with an insane level of customer service. And I would make sure everyone's good in the building. Be like, hey, look, I talked to my coworker and be like, I'm about to take her out real quick. And they'd be like, you're good, right? One of the main reasons I can do that is because I've been going crazy, doing a lot, and stuff like that. Now, one thing that kind of messed it all up was one day she brings in this other guy, right? And I can tell, if you're a guy, you can tell when a guy likes the girl you're interested in, right? It's easy as fuck if we're not lying. I'm sure you girls are able to as well. I've asked girls and they've said yes. So I see it, and I see him spin around. I'm like, so from there, I'm like, we step back. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not about to. I'm not gonna fight for a girl. I don't. I'm not gonna fight for you. If you are interested in me and another guy, choose him. Please choose him. Because I'm not gonna be competing over him. I'm not gonna be competing with him over your interest. I'm gonna just go get another girl. I'm so sorry. But yeah, like I see him coming in, right? He's watching me, right? So I'm like, okay, me and you have the same eyes, right? Me and you are both looking out for each other, which only really means one thing: we both like this girl. We're both interested in this girl. So boom, I'm like, who's the friend? I'm like, ooh, new boyfriend, right? So I pop it up, and she's like, nah, he's just a friend, right? You can tell the way she said it was like, don't, like, it's fine. He's like a don't worry kind of thing. Like it was a you're trying to hide it kind of thing. Instead of just kind of coming out and being like, yeah, I like this kid, and we'll probably end up being something soon. Like the next week or so, boom, she has him up on his profile, right? So now I'm kind of moving into like the stalker field, right? Like it not even really like the stalker field, but like I'm just like hovering over Shorty's Instagram, just because I'm like, one, who really is this girl, right? Like let me try to figure out what I'm dealing with. So boom, check her Instagram. Boom, she's got him up on the story, and this kind of goes for a while. So I'm like, okay, they've known each other for quite a while. Why has she been coming out to sing with me and do stuff like this? So boom, she brings him. The next time I see her, boom, she brings him again, and I'm like, okay, same this time. And at this point, she's like, I want to introduce you to my boyfriend this time, or something like that. And I'm like, oh, what's good, Birdie? I'm like, nice. But she's still coming to sing with me, right? So at one point, she tries to get her man to sing like this duet song, and he's not with it. He's like, I'm not getting up there and singing. I don't care. So she asked me. I wasn't raised to disrespect people's girl. Like, I wasn't raised to disrespect a man right in front of his face. I don't get a kick out of it. You know what I mean? I don't wake up with, all right, whose relationship am I about to break today, right? I've had my experience with almost being a home wrecker, and I'm good off that. Dealt with that in high school. Almost lost one of my good friends, and I'm sure I lost, and I know I lost a very good connection with that kid. Used to feel super comfortable waking up during crew days right beside him without a care in the world. I could have fell asleep right beside Brody, and he felt like just an older cousin or like brother, because his brother was that close to my brother. You know what I mean? Our brothers were the nerds, right? What people look at as nerds, but our brothers just didn't give a fuck most of the time, right? They just did whatever. And yeah, that was, now I think about it, now that I say it out loud, that was one of the reasons why, you know what I mean, you're able to easily like look up to your brother. They just do. They don't really look for your thoughts. They just kind of move. So yeah, don't be a homewrecker. I almost fell into that, and I could go down a long story of that, but it was really just me not being able to stay disciplined, lusting after a girl, listening to her say, no, let's continue to be friends, even though I know you like me. I just don't want you to be like other guys where it's like they find out that, where I find out that they like me, so they didn't stop talking to me, which is exactly what I should have done. I listened to her and continued to talk to her, even though she told me that she was going to be dating one of my friends. So don't do that. But yeah, the Lust situation. Man, it's been bad. Um, shit, I just lost my train of thought. Hold on. Oh yeah. So like, now that they were dating, right? So I was like, all right, boom. I was like, I'm gonna stay respectful, but since you're doing stuff like this, or like since you're asking me to sing a relationship song with you or a romantic song, a duet in front of your man, in the room with other couples, I was like, I'm gonna continue testing some things, right? So sometimes she would still come and he wouldn't want to come, right? Because like he came twice, right, and saw that I wasn't like trying on this girl, and then just dipped, right? So then the next time she came and she was like the old Ayla. I remember, not as reserved, not as like girlfriendly. So boom, she's pulling up for a hug this time, and I'm like the last time you brought your man, both times we kind of did like a fist bump thingy here. So once again, I hate being fake. So now I'm like, look, what are we doing here? You know what I mean? Um, and I don't know exactly if I like pressed or tried to figure out what was going on or like why she was hugging me or not. I think I like kind of like asked it once and she kind of like got embarrassed or something. I was like, are we gonna do a hug or whatever? And I just like she saw it in the body language. Like I went for like this and then saw she did this and I was just like, and then like for a little bit I only did this and like she would try to get like hugs and I'd be like, and it's just like we live in a weird society, man. Yeah, I was kind of looking at the kid because I'm like, this is what I'm going to be dealing with, right? Like if I date this girl, I'm gonna be dealing with her probably trying to do duets with guys who can sing, or her having whole almost relationships behind my back that I don't even know of, hugging guys behind my back but in my face, giving them a fist bump so it looks like it's less than what it truly is, right? Even though me and her didn't have anything deep, we had a deep talking connection level. That's about it. That was moving into words of love, whether it was fake on her side, real on my side, regardless. You know what I mean? I just I don't wake up saying, all right, what's the next fake love what's the next love I could fake? Shit, my computer just black screen on me again. Hopefully nothing messed up. But yeah, so like one thing I tested was I would see how she would act with him in and with him not. And her greetings were very different. So that was just weird. Um, and then eventually found out she ended up having 7 bodies by the time she was 17, right? And now she wasn't saying like she fucked 7 different people. And this is what I found out after the fact. She was simply saying she had sex 7 different times, right? So whether that was with one person 7 times, with 2 people, one person 2, the other person 2, the other person 3, right? That'd be 3. I'm retarded. My fault. But yeah, she just she expressed that to me, and when I tell you, I don't know if it was a mixture of my like idea of our future instantly coming down crashing, like that gut-wrenching feeling, the feeling of being high. I was cold as well, so, and maybe like some sort of anxiety mixed in with that because of that whole idea of love just shattered and being snatched away like that. I didn't know how to deal with it. I was like physically like shaking as if I almost had a like a seizure. And like she was like, "Are you shaking?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm fine." I was like, "I'm just cold or whatever." I was like, and I put the phone down. You could tell it was like really awkward or whatever. And it just, the call slowly ended within like the next like 2 to 3-ish minutes. And I was just like, damn. I was like, I've been saying I love you to this girl. I've really been like thinking of a future with this girl, and pretty much it just goes to show that I don't even know. Like I don't know how I could have dodged that. Actually, I do. I take accountability in genuinely all of that because looking back, one of the biggest things was I wasn't consistent through her seeing me, right? Like she saw me over the course of a lot of time, and through a lot of that time, I should have been every single time she saw me getting better. Of course, there's ups and downs in life, but I was choosing to go down and then to come up, but then to go down again and to come up. So she would sometimes see me leave and see me here. And it's like, what? Like the two different people, you know what I mean? At least that's the only way I can look at it, right? Because yeah, I don't know. That's the way I'm gonna look at it. The biggest thing I think I should have done was continued, right? Just keep going forward. Yes, it's going to be hard. Yes, it's going to be a struggle. Yes, you're gonna have to figure something out, something else to do. But you got to move forward, and I think that's one of the biggest reasons I fully lost her. Now looking back, I'm very happy I lost her, right? Finding out that much, that she had been through that much at such a young age, I'm not going to have that as the mother of my children. You know what I mean? That is just, I'm just not going to do that. Because one, I'm not desperate. Not to say that going for a girl like that would immediately mean you're desperate, but I have more importance placed on self-development, right? And truly taking that self-accountability, which is what I need around my kids, right? Like if you brought my kids into a situation where they shouldn't have been around and I'm trying to figure out what happened, I need to be able to know that, you know what I mean? That way it's like, okay, you know that was a bad situation, probably not going to do it again, or I'm going to try to, change some things up so it doesn't fall down that same path. What else? It's a lot. We got a lot to pick apart here. And I keep checking out sex. I'm pretty sure he's dropping, but it's whatever. What is it? Sorry, I'm losing my train of thought. And once again, I said I'm gonna try not to do any skips because I want this to be a genuine kind of video where y'all can take it as you want, take it as you go, and just get a genuine look on Lil Tata's mind and what's going on. This room is about to be cleaned up immediately because we about to start this stream immediately. And I may even run home to get a stronger vacuum because this little college dorm vacuum I have is not going to be able to pick up all this hair that I've been literally pulling out. One thing I've always done, and you can see it on a lot of my older streams, if there's any clips there, but I would always do this, and it's just me unraveling like a curly piece of my hair. And I got this from my mom. Once again, I'm not making myself a victim. I'm not trying to blame anyone. But this is a habit that I've gained from my mom that has gotten worse because of me. And I would just go in, just find anywhere, and just find a little thingy, just like that. And then just like that, I don't know if y'all can really see it, but just like that, you can kind of see it like curl. You can see it a little bit, but thank God I closed that water bottle. I would just do that, and over the course of like 30 minutes, 20 minutes, 40 minutes, an hour, sometimes an hour and a half, dude, I'd be standing here just sometimes staring into the distance, staring into my desk, staring into the floor, just lost in thought for an hour and a half, literally just going like this. And then I look down and my floor is peppered with just black hair everywhere, right? And like sometimes my room would be really hot, right? So I would have the fan on. Pew, let go. That bitch is gone. That bitch is flying and it's on the corner of my room. So I'm doing this for 30 minutes, evenly seasoning my floor, bro. And I'm able to look back and laugh at all this because I'm out of it. I've accepted that I've gone through it. I'm not running away from it, which I think is so important. And understanding that I only went down a bit I only went down these paths because of an interest and a focus on lust. But that's pretty much enough with the karaoke girl situation. To kind of end it off, me and her on pretty good speaking terms. If I was to see her, I would talk to her. I would ask her how life is going. But I would not give her anything more than like a friends with benefits kind of relationship, right? Not even saying that I'm interested in that, but like that's as far as it would ever go. Just because some people aren't to be married, you know what I mean? And it sucks to say that, but some people genuinely aren't to be married. Some may say that about me with the things that I've gone through. And in that same respect, I would probably likely say it right back. But yeah, yeah, that would kind of be my finishing on that. It was a situation where I just wasn't honest, fully honest, right? I wasn't honest about the fact that I was struggling with withdrawals. I wasn't honest early on to the fact that I was loving her. Um, and I didn't honestly listen and go back and figure out, hey, brother, what did you mean by that statement you made about Shorty, right? And had I done all of that, it would have saved me hella time, hella stress, and hella heartbreak, right? And I would like to say that there was way less heartbreak in this one because I've had so much heartbreak. Once again, no longer victimizing. Um, that I was able to deal with it a lot better. Um, as far as like the visibly being sad, but the actions I took definitely still affected me, right? Because I've just never experienced telling a girl who's not in my family that I love them over a course of multiple days for it to be the type of love that you would say to like a regular friend. Like I don't say I love you to like my friends. I just don't, you know what I mean? I don't um not like that either. It'd be like a I love you, Brody. You know what I mean? Not like a I love you. Bye. Right? There's two different I love you I love yous that you can use, and it definitely was not the friend type one. Another thing was she used to literally do the like I would make sure my, and it's wild that I'm saying this and admitting this, but I would literally make sure my necklace was messed up so she could fix it. I loved letting her fix it. It gave her such like a womanly vibe, such a feminine vibe, and it gave her such wife qualities. And when I was told about the shit that she had been through, I was like, fuck, man, because it's genuinely what happens when a good girl goes through bad shit. That's it. That's literally it. So yeah, how was it? I could have all in all, over that situation, I just needed to continue moving forward and continue to take weed out of my life, and I would have been fine. Um, and and if her friend May is watching this, genuinely, I'm sorry. There were multiple times where you reached out to me, trying to connect, whether it be through the anime. I know you like to tack. You were also dealing with the times that she was kind of being fake to you as well. So within those two situations, I could have easily been like, you know what? Since she's being weird and since she doesn't really care about anyone but herself in this mode she's in, right? Because I know that's not truly her. Then let's just me and you go vibe. You wanna go get some fucking boba? You know what I mean? Like some shit. Go grab a bite, like some shit. And just yeah, I should have definitely done that. For some reason, I keep myself in situations even when someone has shown me that I should remove myself out. And it's one of the biggest things I've got to learn. I have such a big loyalty without a fault that it's my detriment. it's been to my detriment. Like I will wait until someone fully outright betrays me before I drop them. You know what I mean? Just because I don't want to drop them. I don't want to drop you. And yeah, that's enough for that whole situation. Just don't do weed and stay disciplined. Keep moving forward would be my statement on that. For that though, it definitely did bleed, and it definitely did lead to me kind of just isolating even more, right? Because now how I felt was, and it sucks to say this, right? I have so many friends that are white, met their parents, this, that, and the other, right? And love them dearly, right? But at the same time, I also understand how y'all can stick up for your own, right? Fair. I knew that had I come back, there were probably going to be some people who knew that me and this girl who used to sing together had a falling out. Considering she had already lied once when she had asked me to homecoming, her dance, right? She had asked me to be her partner to her dance, right? I'm in love with this girl, and she just asked me to be her dance partner. I'm thinking of making Shorty my wife. Mind you, 7 bodies. This is the bitch I'm thinking of making my wife. Fuck. So yeah, if I could say another thing about all this, it's really vet who you're speaking to, and what I mean by vet is really take them through a process of learning about them. Don't be rushed into a relationship, right? If you aren't ready for a relationship because you don't know how this person is, how they act, how they deal with things, don't allow yourself to be rushed into a relationship. That person rushing you into a relationship in itself is a red flag, which could mean a number of things, small or big. But yeah, I shouldn't have gotten into that. Now what's the word? Damn. And that's what I mean. Like, look, I can barely think. That's how fucked my brain is at this point. I completely lost my train of thought where I was going with that whole thing. Yeah, just stay disciplined, I guess. But going into talking about don't being rushed. So like knowing that she probably went over there and lied about what she said to the people there, because she had previously lied about me being like just super interested in her to go to her dance. And like, yes, I was like, I was falling for her easily hard, but I never verbally said anything to let her know that. So like for her to have then said it to one of my coworkers, for her to have asked me to her dance and then went and talked about it to the most talkative coworker of mine, right? The one who said everything and spread everything with no regard to any personal like secrecies or like any personal things you just don't need to be saying out loud. She told her, right? So boom, the next day I come into work, I'm getting asked why I'm like trying to, in a way, like pressure some child. Like as soon as they hear she's 17, now this 17-year-old is a kid, like a little girl, right? So the person I was 4 years ago must have been a little baby, because I guess I didn't know right from wrong. I couldn't make my own decisions when I was 17, apparently. So I guess maybe that's how girls are. Even though I know y'all act 20 by the time you're 8. So interesting. Real interesting when you actually listen to what I just said. Real interesting. Crazy. But yeah, so yeah, it's just crazy. I just lost my train of thought again. Knowing that she told her that, so I come to work the next day, And like the girl she told is like, she's told a few other people already, because for some reason in that workplace, what I mean by drama is instead of someone coming to you about a problem, they're going to tell every other person about this problem before they tell you, right? So this problem that was probably small has expanded because other people's ideas and thoughts on the issue have now been put in. And there's a chance that this issue is now bigger than what it really was from the get-go. And that's how almost every single situation was dealt with at my job. If I was able to get into the situation, I was able to kind of mend it into a situation where we were adults and acted like grown people. But other than that, it was like no way for you to really kind of get through to them. But yeah, she ended up telling them like Ty was like really, I forgot how they said it, but pretty much Ty was obsessing over me and wants to go to like the homecoming with me. Mind you, right, I know she's no longer dating the kid, right, because they're no longer coming around. All their posts have been taken off. They're no longer following each other. Yes, I was so interested in this girl. I'm stalking her page at this point. Which is, I mean, to me, I'm getting mind fucked. I'm getting told I love you. I'm getting asked to sing songs in front of her parents plus her boyfriend plus friends, right? I've sung with her in front of her friends, in front of multiple friend groups. She's introduced me into multiple friend groups. She introduced me to her parents, right? So I'm just getting mind fucked by this girl at this point. Because I'm under the influence, you know, treat girls right, you know, you're raised, treat girls like a princess, they deserve everything, yada yada. Fuck that. Yeah, no. Yeah, and I genuinely didn't know what was going on, man. Like, once again, this is why you gotta have a set in stone kind of idea of what you're gonna do without allowing it to be touched. Yeah, so I told them, I was like, look, after they kind of like told me what she told them, which was in a sense that I was more so kind of like pushing her for the dating or whatever, or that like I was always like messaging her or sending her like crazy back-to-back texts. I was like, look, I was like, the relationship that y'all see within the building is as far as my relationship with her goes outside this building. I was like, of course, yes, she may send me a TikTok video. She may show me what she looks like in her bathing suit because she's literally going to the lake. And I was like, oh, what color is your bathing suit? And she sent me a photo of it. Yes, I got what I was after, right? Which was just to see how she looks in a bathing suit. But no, I didn't ask because I know that it was wrong. You know what I mean? Like, I knew that me asking for that type of stuff with the way that I was would have led into a not good area. So instead, I just kind of tried to stay away from that, and I did. And so it just was crazy to me when they kind of presented me as like a man with no self-restraint, when the whole time I was acting with self-restraint, and going about everything with self-restraint, right? Because, you know, 40-year-olds, 50-year-olds, 60-year-olds, some of these dudes who don't give a fuck what the age is, right? And for me, I'm like, okay, well, this girl is clearly showing interest in me. So much interest so that you could see it outside, right? Other people who I don't talk to really at all are now starting to get involved because she's beside me, and they see how easily me and her are vibing together, right? They're like, who's the girlfriend, right? This, that, and the other. You laugh it off, right? Because you're not about to explain to every single person, oh, she's just a friend. Oh, she's just a friend. You're like, whatever. But then you slowly start to see what they see. You know what I mean? Not that you hadn't seen it the whole time, or that y'all hadn't been saying verbally things back to each other and doing things that made it seem as if you were more than that. But yeah, just it was just weird. Genuinely, just griminess is what that was. Not being able to act the same way around her every single time because she just wasn't being the same person with the people she was around. And once again, I don't blame her for this. I would have acted the same way regardless, or just cut her off and straight ignored her had I not been taking the drugs. Because high ties, patience when he's high, and my patience when I'm not high are two completely different things. So yeah, back with the Ray situation. Genuinely, Brody, thank you from the bottom of my heart. I can't stress how much speaking to you over the course of those like 5 hours and being able to talk to you about the Valorant situation that I just went into, or that I went into previous episode or the previous part. That shit tormented me for a while. I wasn't able to eat for like the first half once I found out Shorty was. So mind you, the Rays situation, going back, she's blast packing me. I add her, see her on Instagram. She's a little bit heavier, but I still talk to her because we click just like that, right? Boom, boom, boom. I'm starting to see I can fall. And mind you, it's around January, getting close to February time frame, right? What happens during February? What are all girls worried about? February time frame. Valentine's Day. Me, I don't give a fuck about Valentine's Day. I never really have cared about it. The best thing about Valentine's Day is candy. My thought was, hey, bless, more candy's coming around. But I've actually fucked up twice with Valentine's Day, and this is one of the biggest reasons why I hate Valentine's Day. One time it rushed me into a relationship, and the other time I wasn't proactive enough before it and didn't understand how Valentine's Day worked. So the girl probably just didn't feel appreciated or truly loved, or she probably thought I gave my Valentine's to someone else. You know what I mean? Because the time had passed to do it. And what I mean by this, sorry, I just punched the heck out of y'all. This was the Peyton girl that I previously mentioned. She had like mentioned. No, this was the Hannah girl. This was the Australian girl. This was one of the ones that did a number on me. And I'm not gonna lie, because she was one of the prettiest girls I was chopping it up with. Pretty teal eyes. Those teal eyes are low key like my kryptonite. Pretty brown eyes and pretty teal eyes. I get fucked by it. I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, she had mentioned something about like Valentine's like a few days prior, and I was like, I got you. I'm gonna ask you on Valentine's. I was like, don't even worry. I was like, I got it all planned. I'm gonna ask you once Valentine's comes. She didn't stick around till Valentine's. Which is fair, because I was supposed to ask her to be my Valentine's. That way, on Valentine's Day, she knows she's got a Valentine. I never had dealt with it. I never looked it up, never knew any of this, so I didn't know. And she ended up ghosting me, not talking to me, probably had someone else she was talking to. So the whole time I'm trying to figure out what it is that I'm doing wrong, what I could have done that would have made her stay, what it is I'm missing. So this whole time I'm pointing the finger in. What was I missing? Rather than what did I do wrong, right? Like, what did I genuinely do wrong in the relationship, and what could I do better? Regardless of how she feels, right? What did I actually do wrong, and what could I do better? Whether it be like listening, remembering, acts of kindness, just little things like that. And looking back, I definitely could have done way more of those things on all fronts. Looking back at the same time, if she was willing to leave me that fast without even expressing herself at the same time, then I'm happy I was able to get out of that. You know what I mean? Like, that's, once again, someone who doesn't have the ability to express how they feel. And instead, they'd rather just leave and leave you wondering. And the saddest part is you don't understand the damage that does to a person. So yeah. Genuinely, thank you, Brody. And it's funny. I almost made a video while I was smacked. I was in full tears. There's been multiple times where I've been taking hits and just been in full out tears, breaking down, taking another hit. I didn't know who I could talk to. I had spoken to my dad a little bit about the situation with the girl who lied to me about her age, but I never really went into it like I was able to with Ray, because he had dealt with something as well. He dealt with the same thing on a deeper level. So I really appreciated being able to speak to him about that. But yeah, when I found out that she lied about her age, and I'll be really quick. I was playing Valorant with her, um, and the only reason I was in a relationship with her, right? One way I got rushed into a relationship. One way I didn't go fast enough, right? So the first situation with the Hannah girl, Australia, rushed. This girl, we'll abbreviate J. Um, they're fuck. I just lost my train of thought again. Yeah. Sometimes I would be cutting into my Valorant stream playtime, just so I could play with her, right? So instead of streaming like maybe a fifth game that day, and locking in those 5 games, I would play 4, end the stream early, and maybe play an hour of Roblox with her, right? So yes, she was happy, but internally, I was physically sad because I knew I was going against my plan, the things I said I would do. Therefore, I was self neglecting, starting to self hate, and you could see that coming out in the ways I would talk to her, or the ways I would react, or the ways I would say different things. Um, so I just didn't. Um, and one of the things that really worried me was or not worried me, but one of the things that kind of just like messed with I don't even know how to word this. I'm at a loss of words. What were we going into? Yeah. Okay, so I was playing with her, and like that's how it started. That's how she got her like intro into like playing with me. I would like cut out streaming time and then intertwine her with my schedule. Eventually, I ended up doing it a little too much to where like sometimes stream would be there, but sometimes it wouldn't, right? So now because I'm choosing to wait for her, because I'm choosing to plan my day around her, now I don't have things that are done, right? And sometimes I would do this because when I don't plan my day around her, now she's neglected, or now she feels like she's not wanted, or I'm doing it because I don't want her to look elsewhere, or just all these different things when none of that shit genuinely matters. None of that shit genuinely matters. The only thing that really mattered at that time should have been me continuing to stream, continuing to do what I said I was going to do, and anyone who decided to stick with me, supporting them in any way that I was able to from the space that I was able to, if that makes sense. But I didn't. I would start focusing more on them, and when you focus more on something else, you're focusing less on you. And that clearly showed, into the point where it just was very obvious. And it's hard to just flip the switch back and be like, look, I've fallen off path, and I said I would do this, and I stopped for you because I love you. And I'm a lover boy, man. I fall in love so easily, and that's what really sucks. Yeah. So yeah, it just sucked, man. Um, and I keep losing my train of thought. We're at that point of the withdrawals where it's just constant thoughts just tornadoing around. Once again, don't get into this. This isn't fun. This is generally the worst part. The part where you're trying to get out of it. It just sucks. It's not fun. But yeah. She. See, like, what the fuck? I just lost my train of thought again. What were we talking about? What were we talking about? Ray, thanking Ray for helping me. Yes. Okay. So her lying about my age. So boom. and once again, when I say she lied about her age, I'm not saying like it was some, how old are you? I'm 18. Oh, okay. I didn't just ask that. I asked, how old are you? What school are you planning to go to? What are you going to be studying? What are your plans for rooming? Are you going to do like the food plan? Are you going to probably just be more of like someone who cooks? And she answered all of that flawlessly. Flawlessly. So like when I'm conversating, you know what I mean? When you answer all that flawlessly, I wouldn't hear flawless answers from those and be like, yup, this person's lying about their age. She answered it flawlessly. So I moved on. I was like, okay, yep, she's about to be a freshman in college. She's 18. She's finishing her senior year, right? I know societal ideas and views might be like, oh, you're dating a high schooler. I was like 2-3 years out of high school. And considering a lot of older people are dating 10 years, 7 years, 6 years, 5 years, 4 years, whatever. Yes, they're a little bit older when they start dating. But because that was like all you really see around, I'm like, yeah, I'm not about to throw away this genuine connection I have with this girl because of potential old men who actually go looking for younger girls who aren't actually interested in them. You know what I mean? There's a clear difference between a younger girl who's interested in you, who you also show interest back, that happens naturally, than a guy who goes out and tries to create that connection. You know what I mean? It's just different. Attracting rather than chasing is pretty much an easy way to put it. And that was probably the only light that saved me from, I don't want to say taking my life, because I don't, that thought definitely crossed my mind a few times, but like I don't ever think I've ever really been like, yeah, I'm about to do this. Of course that thought always can cross your mind, and whenever it does, I start to tear up, think about the people I'd be leaving behind, etc., etc. And of course I'd never do it, or I hope I'd never do it. But it was rough. I struggled to eat. I hated myself. I was like, Ty, you're a monster. I was like, why are you interested in a girl, right? Because this is how I found out that she was like 15 and I'm 19 at the time, dude. It was horrible. I'm telling you, I wanted to die. It took me like 2 to 3 months for me to even be able to tell my dad about this. And once again, she flawlessly answered all the age questions. So I would have lost to this level of play every single time. And this is why I'm telling younger guys out here, because the world is crazier now. So if it happened back then, I promise you it's happening now, and it's happening on a crazier scale. But yeah, so I'm trying to think where was I going with this? Yes, so I'm playing Val with her, and one of her exes ends up finding her by stalking her Valorant tracker, right? He looks at her games, and what you can do when you look at a Valorant tracker game, you could see the teammates. So what he did was, over a course of a few games, he was like, okay, this person has clearly been in this person's games over and over again. That means they're most likely duoing. There's a very, very low chance you're going to be back to back games. And then there's a better way to check. If you see random games in between, check a few further off. If you then see that same exact person, most likely they're duo. If they're playing a lot of games with that person, they keep coming up, they're most likely they're duo, or a person they play with, right? So boom, I get a friend request on Haven. I see it. I'm like, who the hell? Boom, I accept that shit, because why the fuck not? I don't care. Boom. Instantly get a message. Hey, yo, bro, I don't know if she's told you or not, or if she's lied to you, something along the lines of she's pretty much lying to you. She's not how old you think she is. Huh? When I see that message, my heart drops. 2 reasons. One, I told her the name of who added me, right? And she was like, oh, just delete it. I accepted it already. And I was like, okay, right? But I wasn't putting 2 and 2 together, right? So boom. She's like, oh, that's someone I used to play with. Boom. I'm like, okay, it's probably some weird Brody. Boom. He starts messaging me. Whatever we were talking about, she drops. And she starts like pressuring me to be like, hey, did you block this person? Is he messaging you? This, that, and the other. And she can kind of tell that I'm distracted, right? Because I'm reading the shit Brody's telling me. And as I'm reading it, she's like, Ty, I'm not joking. Like, what are you doing, right? And I can tell she's getting mad. So now I'm like, yo, I'm like, what you not about to do is whatever the fuck you call that. So boom, and I'm like, what's I keep checking outside because normally everyone at this time is gone. So the only real reason he's staying is probably to check out this story. But so boom, I'm like, what do I say? I'm like, hey, what is it? I'm like, yo, I'm like, how do you know this? And he's like, I think he said check her Instagram or something, or like he found out from a post or something, or like someone sent him a post or whatever. Or like he checked her mom or something. I don't know how he found out, but he found out. And I'm like, I could have sworn I saw like her mom on the page, right? And I'm like, I also do remember her being at like a birthday party thingamajiggy, right? And I'm like, there's no way if that number correlates to what bro's saying, I'm actually cooked. So I go back to her page. She has like 5K followers. I'm like, fuck, what was her mom's name? Boom, find her. Boom, found the mom. Mom does like OF, right? Another red flag. Do you think a child who's raised by an OnlyFans mom is going to have the best relationship practices and the best ways of dealing with kids? And no, I'll answer it for you. No. They're most likely not going to be in the right headspace teaching them the whole times. And I'm not saying this coming after her mother. This is all facts. This girl's mother was throwing glass and shit all over the house. So yes. And of course, yes, you can have an OnlyFans account and I suppose maybe raise some children correctly, but I wouldn't put my money down on it. But hey, if you want to, go for it. What was I about to say? Yeah, like she just I could tell she was a wow. Sorry. I could tell she was getting like mad and because of that I was like, yo, what's I was like, why are you like pressing me to respond to you so much? And she was like, because you're not answering me. And I was like, well, hold on, he's messaging me. And she was like, well, what is he saying? And I was like, just give me a second. And that's when she was like, can you just block him? And I was like, for what? And she was like, please just block him. And I go on Instagram, boom, find her mom's thing, find this picture of these balloons with her mom and her, and right behind it I see a 15 in the shape of a balloon, and then it says happy birthday to like my beautiful or whatever. And I'm like, are we fucking dead ass? I'm 19, right? So now in my mind I'm like, and at this point me and her have done things over the phone, and that's all I'm gonna say. So I'm like, wow. I'm like, Ty, you're the worst of the worst. Like I start looking at myself as if I went into all of this knowing that. I start looking at myself as if I haven't been being lied to for the past 3 months. And this girl was very good at lying. Very good at lying. She made lying effortless. Which was the terrifying part. And just yeah, so many different things. I ended up almost losing my best friend because of her, because she wanted to try to figure out if I truly liked her, because I had negative feelings about her body weight, which I think is absolutely fair as someone who put so much effort into trying to maintain and keep a decent body image. I was like, hell no, I'm not. No, I was like, no. No. But once again, like I said, I was falling in love with her, which is why I don't care how cheesy or how corny someone wants to say it. I don't mind falling in love. Like, falling in love isn't a bad thing. It's just when you don't love yourself through the love, that's when it can get bad. And sometimes loving yourself is walking away, right? Is that could be a form of self-love, walking away when it's needed. And that's not what I was able to do. And in all honesty, that's why it got worse. I still wasn't able to leave once I found out, and would still keep in contact with her. Of course, we made sure to keep the sexual acts from that point on as minimalized as possible. But never anything in person. And I say once again that I genuinely appreciate you, Ray, for letting me talk to you about this, because I didn't know who I could come to about this. And I used to speak about this and instantly start getting shaky, instantly start crying. And I actually did record a video where I was talking about this, and it did get corrupted. So unfortunately, y'all don't get to see the genuine feelings and my genuine struggle of talking about this as it comes up, because this is kind of the second-ish time I've talked about this now. But now it's actually being recorded and captured. So yes, genuinely, Brody, from the last little hurdle I needed, you easily helped pull me out of there. Because yeah, I was just smoking with no real way to see how to get out of it. Like, I know I could always stop, but I didn't. But I knew I would always then be interested and lustfully interested to go back to weed, because that's really, if I'm being honest, my only main push. Getting smacked, then go in and get a nut off. You know what I mean? Whether that's a nut off by yourself or a nut off with a female. I didn't really care. I was going to solve that feeling of needing to get it out. You know what I mean? So yeah. What else?